Hello and welcome to Coffee Lovers TV. On the show today, we're going to be taking a look at Anchorhead Coffee's new Ethiopia Allona. Now, if you've been following any of the work that I've done quite a bit of stuff with Anchorhead Coffee. Just like to review their coffees, enjoy their coffees. They do a really excellent job roasting, and they get really interesting coffees as well. We've had some fantastic ones in the Coffee Lovers box this year. So this Ethiopia, this is a new Ethiopia for them, and it's replacing their Ethiopia Richa. So this is Ethiopia Allona, and it's just give you a little bit of information about it from the bag here. Really, it's new to me. I actually I've had it in the cafe. I haven't brewed it at home yet. Got a brand new bag here, so this should be delicious. So their tasting notes are pineapple, honeydew, and cacao. It's from the Guji region, and it actually lists Mora Farm as the grower. So I'm really curious. I need to have a conversation with them about this. If this is coming from a single farm, if this is like single origin traced to a specific farm, which is now really actually possible in Ethiopia, so it's really exciting to start to see that kind of thing happening. There's varieties, it lists heirloom, so there's some coffees in here which are a mix that they aren't aware of. In Ethiopia, there are so many different varieties, a lot of them just get bunched into heirloom because they can't really track exactly what they are. But we also have listed Wolicho and Karume. I'm probably butchering every pronunciation on here, but that's all right. So those are two varieties of Ethiopian coffees, which I've never heard those names before. I presume that because they're going to a specific farm, they're able to isolate specific varieties, and that's really exciting as well. So, and this is a naturally processed coffee, as is the case with a lot of Ethiopian coffees. All right, so without further ado, I'm gonna open this up and have a smell of it, and then we'll brew it on the Kalita Wave and have a taste. Rich and sweet, like I would kind of expect from a naturally processed coffee. It's interesting, I can tell there are a lot of delicate flavors in it, and that's just because I think I'm just being like overwhelmed with the sensation of really good smells. Like if you walk into, I don't know, a fresh produce market with tons of fruit, that's kind of, I mean, that's not exactly what this smells like because it's roasted coffee, but that's the kind of overwhelming sensation. So fruity sweetness, rich sweetness, sugar, almost like a pastry-like pie-like sweet aroma. They list pineapple, honeydew, and cacao. I don't know if I pick out pineapple. Melon sweetness for sure on the aroma. All right, so sometimes I feel like I can just smell coffee all day, but I want to go ahead and brew this up. So I'm going to brew this on the Kalita Wave, as I like to do, and then we'll be back for a taste. All right, we're back. I brewed up the Ethiopia Allona on the Kalita Wave. As I was brewing, of course, smelling the grounds, the aroma becomes very rich and sweet, and really complex too. It's really hard to pin down a particular thing. I smelled rich sweet berry. I smelled, I even started to smell some like spice and maybe even a little bit of tomato. Really intriguing aromas that I didn't get on the whole bean. Now, the aroma of the brewed is an entirely different matter because this is incredibly floral. I feel like I'm sticking my face into a bouquet of flowers smelling this. There's definitely some sweet fruit. Oh yeah. Oh, maybe I'm starting to pick up on the pineapple. It's not quite pineapple, but it has that kind of brightness to the aroma. But they also said honeydew, definitely picking up on melon in there. Ooh, that's a really good smell. I suspect that this is gonna be a little too hot because this is a lighter roasted coffee. Generally, lighter roasted coffees, especially ones with a lot of complex flavors, you want to let them cool just a little bit. And I don't mean get cold, but like right now, it's pretty much right off the brew. This is probably in the 185 range, 190, maybe letting it drop 5 to, oh, maybe not. Well, that was really sweet. Hold on. Wow, yeah. Like, it's like eating a honeydew melon. It's crazy. And the pineapple. I mean, I know I've read it on here, so that's gonna influence my ability to find it in here, but I definitely am tasting those flavors. Oh, that is really good. This is interesting because it's a naturally processed coffee. And naturally processed coffees are typically really strong in a specific flavor, and washed coffees typically are less strong in specific tastes, have a lot more flavors that are just more subtle. At least that's my kind of overall impression, my overall way of kind of describing the differences between natural and washed. This is a natural with a lot of complexity, I think, certainly on the aroma. And there's some subtlety to the flavor as well, but there is strong flavor too, and that's, I think, like sweet honeydew, sweet pineapple is really coming on. It's also got a lot of tea-like characteristics. It's bright and light. I'm not sure I'd call it juicy. No, I don't think I would call this juicy. It's really hard to explain what juiciness in coffee is, because it's really just an impression to me. When I find a coffee that I'm like, oh, that's a juicy coffee, I don't even know how to explain why it's a juicy coffee. It just makes me, like when I drink it, it makes me think of like juicy. Often when it's fruity, it'll make me think of like biting into a juicy fruit. This isn't so much like that. Like a slice of honeydew melon might have some juiciness to it, and so would a pineapple, but this, not so much. Maybe that's where the cacao comes in. I could definitely see some cacao, but like the melon sweetness is really, really strong on this. This is a little bit out of left field, but I'm really curious what this would taste like chilled. So I'm actually gonna chill the rest of this, and I'll be right back because I'm really curious. I just want to see how that comes out. All right, so you might be wondering how one chills coffee really quick. Very simple with the cold wave. Only takes a minute, and I just took the rest of that, poured it in here, and now I've got chilled coffee. So the reason I'm curious about this is because there are just a lot of characteristics of this that make me think they're going to be really interesting and sweet when they're chilled, and I thought, why not? Let's just give it a shot. Wow, that is smooth. No bitterness, no sour bite. It's just smooth and sweet with a hint of melon and some floral components as well. Huh. It's incredibly smooth. I can't even describe how smooth this is. Like there's almost no bite on the side of my tongue. Usually, so when it comes to coffee, like coffee has a natural level of bitterness and kind of a natural bite, depending on a number of factors. But that natural bitterness is something that at this point, I just naturally look past. I think there's a certain level of bitterness I just don't see a lot of the times in coffee unless I look for it. Like I can tell that there's bitterness there, but because I know that it's just a natural element of coffee, I think my brain filters it out pretty easily, and I can taste all the interesting stuff. And that's something that will happen to you as well when you drink a lot of coffee with nothing added to it. The brain just becomes accustomed to the commonalities, and one of the commonalities of coffee is just a natural bitterness. Okay, long story short, I'm struggling to find it in here when it's chilled. It's like super sweet, and the taste of honeydew itself is kind of gone, and it's more of just like a sweet melon. I don't taste the pineapple anymore. It tastes a bit more of the cacao probably. Wow, that's really intriguing. That's fun. This would make an awesome cocktail coffee. I might be geeking out a little bit over this coffee. It's really delicious. Okay, so that's been Anchorhead's Ethiopia Allona. It's their new Ethiopia. I'll link to that below the video, as well as everything else you've seen me use here. And I don't know, I'd say go grab a bag. Have some fun with it. If you have one of these, make a cocktail out of this coffee. That's probably gonna be really good. Thank you so much for watching. While you're at it, if you wanna try some other Anchorhead coffee, we often have them in the Coffee Lovers box. Just click the link there and go check out Coffee Lovers box, see what's in the current month, and enjoy.